And welcome everyone to another presentation of the ETBU Sportsnet. I'm Kenneth the K-Rock Klein, and throughout this fall semester, we are recognizing the top ETBU athletes over the past 20 years on the all-time Tigers list. This, of course, is the 20th season of ETBU football, and we are showcasing the best of the best through interviews and stories about things that memories on the field and off the field. This week, we are unveiling our top wide receivers, and among those that we are recognizing is three-time All-ASC wide receiver Jabori Jackson. In a career spanning from 2001 to 2003, Jackson was a member of the 2003 ASC championship team that made the NCAA playoffs. He also ranks in the top 5 in receptions, receiving yards, and touchdowns at ETBU. Jabori, thanks for taking your time with us, and congratulations on making it to the all-time Tigers team list, and welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be part of the top 20 ETBU class. Thank you.
Absolutely. We'll get to your football career in just a moment. But first and foremost, give us an update of what's life's been like for you. When you graduated from ETBU, in what major, and what exactly you're currently doing as of right now.
I graduated in December 2005 with a major in kinesiology and a minor in American Studies. As of right now, I'm the head athletic coordinator at Forest Park Magnet School in Longview, Texas. That's 6th through 8th grade campus. I'm in charge of the football activities, basketball, and track and field for our school.
Absolutely. Good to hear that you're doing very well at this point. So obviously now when you found out that you were going to be selected for your career, obviously three-time All-ASC, when you think about Jabori Jackson among the players that we are honoring, what does that mean to you from a personal standpoint?
Wow, that means a lot. When I heard that, I was like jumping for joy. I was like, but without my teammates, it wouldn't be Jabori Jackson. You know, they helped me tremendously through them 4 seasons at ETBU, building me up, helping me out with everything from the O-line to the quarterback to the other receivers, Earl Morris, Andrew Jackson, Frank Wilson. Basically they made me. We basically made each other compete hard in practice to see who's going to shine that day, and without them pushing me, I don't think it'd be a Jabori Jackson. So they helped me big time.
Absolutely. You're part of a really collection of core players among the team that was part of the 2003 squad. Of course, the big game that everybody talks about was that double overtime win against UMHB as well. From your perspective, you had over 100 yards receiving in that game as well, and it was a big game. What do you remember mostly about that specific game?
Oh, that game, that was a great game. If I could go back and relive it again, it'd be awesome. First of all, that week, we had to play Marahon Baylor, and Coach Harris told us that in order for us to be champions, we have to win by 7. So he was like, if we go to overtime, they kick a field goal, we're going to kick a field goal because we have to win by 7. So we're going in that mind frame that we're already down 7 points start of kickoff. So that game got there that Saturday. We're ready to play. Great atmosphere in Marahon Baylor. We never beat Marahon Baylor before. The previous year, I think we lost by 1 or 2 points. And it just was a miraculous game. We started out shaky, and Coach Harris talked to us at halftime. It was like, okay, it's time to go. Defense got a good pep talk by Coach Kanuna that fired them up, and we came out ready. Phil Van Cleve stepped up in the second half, threw a good bomb to AJ Jackson, who I think it's about 78 yards touchdown. And we just like, we cannot lose. We would not lose. It started with the summer of 2003 with A Room with a View. We held each other accountable and things like that. So we know we could depend on them from everybody from the start of the season to the game at Marahon Baylor, which we needed every athlete, everybody, every coach that game. And it was just miraculous. And going back to that game, I remember it was like 4th and 23. And the previous year, I think we had that same situation, was down 1 or 2, and I ran the fade route and it got called back. I was like, okay, so we lost by 1 or 2 in that same situation. The next year, 4th and 23. Then Cleve looked at me and he said, you getting the ball? I was like, not to brag on my, like, I better get the ball. It's my senior year. I'm going out with a bang. And miraculous, God put the ball in my hand. We converted that 4th down. Then we converted another 4th down and another 4th down. Frank Johnson and Roshan Johnson converted. Then the last one I remember, it was a fade pattern to Earl Morris, and threw it up, and Earl catches the ball on his helmet. and falls in the end zone with Mayor Hardin Baylor crowd, the fan club right behind him screaming. He just gets up, and Earl never shows emotion. I mean, never. He gets up and jumps for joy. I was like, oh my God, he just caught that. Then you know it's just like, okay, we need this extra point. We need this extra point to tie it up. And Andy Towns with a great snap, good kick by Sean Strew, and we went to overtime, and it was just a wonderful feeling. Earl Morris caught the touchdown to put us ahead, and of course, you know, Maryland Baylor. Only thing they had to do was kick a field goal to lose the game, but they would have went as number 1 seed in Division III for in our conference. And I guess they said, we're at home, we're going for the win also. And then when they threw it up and I saw Torrey Barnes come up with that great interception, we just stormed the field. I think I even have some of the grass left from Maryland Baylor that we picked up from that stadium. So it was a great game.
Yeah, absolutely. Talk about redemption right there, especially for you in that 4th and 23 situation. Now, your reward was a trip to the NCAA playoffs, and you got to play Trinity, of course, another respectful opponent. And first game, first opportunity to play in the NCAA playoffs, and you made the most of it with a win. Any memories from that game as well?
It was a great memory. Starting that week off, we had Greg Washington, you know, one of our best linebackers that ever came through. ETBU came through, and he was getting ready to get deployed because he was on the reserve, you know. And then we had ESPN come through, do documents on Greg Washington. I'm like, this is awesome. We have to win this for Greg. And of course, the first touchdown came from Greg Washington on the fumble recovery. I was like, this is God destined. This is ETBU at its finest, the best Baptist Christian-led school. He's on our side right now. We have to win this game. And as it kept going over, I'm like, this is a nail biter. I'm like, okay, but we got to end this game. And I just remember seeing Littleton Dean, another great defensive guy, blocked that extra point. And I just remember us carrying Ralph Harris up the stairs as victorious. It was like, we can't believe this. We went from a 28 freshman season to now first round winners of a playoff game. Like, it was a big turnaround.
Absolutely. What does the experience you had at ETBU mean to you, and what sort of impact did this university have on you?
It was just a great feeling, great university. It had a major impact coming from Daytona Beach, Florida. I didn't know what direction I was being led into until one of my ex-coaches, Coach Roger Reed, brought me into ETBU and asked me, do I want to come back? And I'm like, start the program over in 2000. Like, what? I never heard of Marshall, Texas. Coming from Daytona Beach, I'm like, I'll give it a try. Like, it was God pushing me to leave Daytona and follow and be a servant and come back to, come and lead this program that's starting from scratch 50 years ago. And it was just awesome. It was a Christian-based school. That's the place that you want to go. It's a Division III, but at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. If you have the love for the game, you'll go play anywhere.
Absolutely. You talk about, obviously, your favorite couple of games that we talked about, the UMHB and the Trinity game as well. But what other memories with your teammates do you specifically have? And do you still keep in touch with your teammates to this day?
Yes. Out of the games at ETBU, the first one, our first home game we couldn't play because O'Neill Stadium wasn't done correct. So we went to Marshall High School, beat McMurray. That was our first conference win that freshman year. Another great win was, I think, my sophomore year or my junior year, where I scored 4 touchdowns that game, 2 on kickoff return, 2 on receiving. It was just without the team, it wouldn't be me. Like I said, like, they helped us win that game. The ball was I was just putting correct plays, in the great spots to do that. I remember me and Tyrone Robinson, we would play rock, paper, scissors to see who gets the kickoff return. And it was fun, like, because with the ball in his hand, he was dominant as well. So we'll like rock, paper, scissors, dang, you got it. So we'll block for each other and just have fun, and just me returning them kickoffs. And I had family. The first time ever I had family come in from Daytona Beach to watch me play. So I was like, this is awesome. 4 returns. Then, I had 13% of the votes from ESPN as the player of the week. That means awesome. But like I said, I give everything back to my teammates that week. And besides the Trinity and Mary Harn-Baylor game, we just had a great time. And playing Louisiana College, Battle of the Border, the last 2 years was there playing in the Independence Stadium. It was a great feeling, awesome. But like I said, ETBU is the place to go.
Absolutely. Now, how has God used your time at ETBU to help you out, and not just in life, but in the ministry as well?
God has used my life. He has basically turned me around, coming from Daytona Beach to Marshall, Texas, and actually planted me in the right road to success, especially in my job right now, dealing with these students. I'm trying to lead and be a great role model as a Christian and as a big brother or daddy to some of these kids who haven't had that, that experience, like trying to teach them. Like I had a great conversation with a student today, like they want to go play Division I ball. I'm like, it doesn't matter if it's Division I, Division II, Division III, but if you have the passion, you will play anywhere. You just got to be successful. You play like you practice. So have great experience practicing and just do all the great things, and God will lead you in the right direction.
Absolutely. So now putting you on the spot here, obviously. So obviously you talked about how, players have to have that passion in order to play football, depending on where it is. So now you have an opportunity to try and recruit a kid to go play at ETBU. What would you tell the high school football player in question about it and why you think they should go there?
Well, I would start off with like ETBU is, of course, D3, no scholarships, but you have to have the passion to play at a D3 school. And the facilities are wonderful. I'm mad that they didn't have the facilities when I was there. Swimming pool, the softball complex is amazing. The baseball, softball is turf. Like it looks like a Division I small school over there now. And I'm just like, why couldn't that? But you got to start from the ground up. So I tell them it's a great Christian-based school. The faculty is wonderful. You have like I think when I was there, it's like 20-1 students to professor, like one-on-one learning. Like it was just an awesome feeling to be at ETBU. So I'll tell them to go there, put your pride aside and just, because everybody thinks they're Division I, Division II athlete, but it doesn't matter at the end of the day. As long as you go get that degree, it doesn't matter where you played at. So I would tell them ETBU is the place to go.
Absolutely. And one final question, obviously, I've talked to this with all the people that I've interviewed with, we're still kind of dealing with these uncertain of times, not only with the pandemic, but what's going on within our nation as well. We like to ask for words of advice from all the alumni to the current students or to all the people that are watching this as well. Do you have any words of wisdom that you would like to leave with us?
I would just say, be safe. Be safe out there, never know what's going to happen from day to day, but also keep God first. Prayer changes and prayer works for everything. Just keep God first and keep striving to be the best that you can be.
Absolutely. All right, Jabori Jackson, thank you so much for taking your time. Congratulations once again on being part of this all-time Tigers team list, and we look forward to hearing from you and wish you all the best.
All right, thank you so much.
That is Jabori Jackson. I'm Kenneth the K-Rock Klein. Tune in next time as we will unveil our next all-time Tigers team member. Stay tuned.